Good morning. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, YouTube. Appreciate you being here. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You're going to find that we're going to start posting some videos that are just YouTube. They're going to help you run your business. So please go ahead and do that if you would. You can find that Brenda, I'm hoping, is in here. And if she is, she will put the link in there for the YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, and we would love to have you there. Going to give this just a moment. Say good morning, please, as you come into the meeting here. Would love to recognize you. Matthew, good morning. Looking forward to talking with you this week, my friend. Good morning, Daniel. How are you? Al, good morning. Hey, I really enjoyed the training last week. I hope you got a lot. Your guys got a lot out of it. So I'm really excited. I got something to talk about that, man, we're just tired of hearing about, but I think it's important, and I want to give you some tools to help you get through it. So please feel free to share this, and let's help others too, right? So we're just going to give this. Hey, you're very welcome, Daniel. That's what I get for going over, right? Eric, good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Nick, good morning. Looking forward to talking to you a little bit later. So I think this is really fantastic that we've got everybody in here like this. This is awesome. Philip, good morning. Listen, I want to apologize. I'm going to reach out to you today. I did get your email, still recovering, so it's a little bit crazy. Hey, Dave, good to see you. Tracy, you too. Listen, tell you what, let's get started. Y'all got work to do, right? So let's see. I'm not sure this monkey is my friend. I'm really not. But let's see. We're going to get this. And there's Lucky, right? He's making sure I get everything right because we're still in our super secret location here. Oh, that's at 9 minutes. Let's put it to 10. Let's be fair about it, right? Okay. Good morning. My name is Rick White from 180 Biz, and this is my Just One Thing. I want to talk to you about two things. They're both around the coronavirus right now. Numbers are absolutely soaring, and I want you to make sure that you're not dropping your guard as it pertains to keeping yourself, and your team safe and keeping your business open. I have had clients that have gotten the virus, and thankfully none of them have. Some of them have had it to different degrees, um, but um, we did have a client that lost an uncle to it. But what I'm getting at is there are some areas where if you get the virus, they're closing you down for 2 weeks, your whole shop. So I want you to think about zero income for 2 weeks. And then, by the way, I want you to think about the new CARES Act, which requires you to pay your team when they're in quarantine. So imagine 2 weeks with no income. And then I want you to imagine full payroll for 2 weeks. Definitely would suck. Okay. It would definitely suck. Al, I'm really glad you guys enjoyed it too, the training. So I want you to make sure that you're protecting yourself. So the first thing I want you to do, please write this list down. First thing I want you to do is I want you to call your health department and find out what the guidelines are in your area. I had one shop where the health department came in and basically said, you're going to lock this up, or we are, for 2 weeks. Or I had another place that the owner and a tech got the virus. They had to stay home in quarantine. The rest of the shop tested negative. They sanitized the shop and were allowed to stay open. You need to know what the guidelines are in your area. Hey, Brenda, good morning. I'm glad you're in here. Can you please put the YouTube channel link in here, please? I'd love everybody. We're going to start dropping some quick 2, 3, 4 minute videos that are going to help you with business tips in our YouTube channel. Would love to have you on there. So if you would go over and subscribe, I think that'd be amazing. Now, I'm not making this political. There is a virus out there, and the reality is it's not a big deal until it's a big deal. And it's not, I've seen this over and over and over again where people are pish-poshing it, and then all of a sudden someone's really sick from it in their family, and now they're eating crow. It's not about, I don't want you to, whether you believe in the virus or not, or whatever the case is, I don't care. here's what I want you to do. Please, what I want you to do is think about keeping your business open. I want you to think about keeping your business safe, your people safe. Okay. So the first thing you're going to do is call the health department, find out what the guidelines are. Second, I'm going to highly recommend you wear masks in the shop all the time. The reality is you can't control what people are doing outside of work. You can inside. Require masks. Everybody, including you, Chief Honcho here, right? All day long, if you're in the shop, you have a mask. It's going to keep transmission down if someone gets sick. Next, social distance. Make sure you're keeping everybody apart and limiting people getting together. Don't let them eat lunch or have coffee or go for smokes together. And just put a bubble around your business where customers aren't coming in anymore. You're doing the contactless drop off, paying, and everything like that. And then just sanitize regularly, right? Keep everything clean. Wash your hands a lot. Keep that bubble. Don't let parts or salespeople into your building. Have them drop the stuff off outside, bring it in. Okay. I'm just telling you, it's going to be so much better off because I've seen shops that have struggled through this process, and it was very reactive. They didn't have a choice, and it's very, very hard as a business owner to have someone tell you you got to close. Okay. Now, that's the first thing. How am I doing on time? Good. I got about 6 minutes. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about is coronavirus fatigue. The reality is we've listened to this stuff for a long time. It's in the news all the time, and people are getting tired of it. Now, what I want you to do, please, is be very, very aware of behavioral changes in your team and or customers. What do those look like? Well, first they might be getting a little snappy, frustrated, right? They might be withdrawn. They might be acting careless. These are all indicators that you've got someone that's dealing with some type of fatigue issue here. It really does happen. And what I want you to do is if you see that behavior is bring someone aside and talk to them. Don't dictate, don't preach. What I want you to do is ask them how they're doing. Check in with them and listen. Sometimes that's all they need is someone to listen. But I want you to remember that when we see problems, right? I want you to remember that we tend to do, I call it the 3 Ps. We're going to concentrate on 2. Number 1, we make a problem pervasive. What that means is I have this very little problem right here in my life, but the way I describe it to myself and others is it is my life. And that's not true. So we've got to help them keep it real. The second thing is they think the problem is permanent. They think it's going to be like this all the time. And it's tough. Look, Brenda and I, and Brenda, you can tell them this. Kurt, good morning. You can tell them this. We love date night. We would go out to the movies. We would go to a dinner. And I mean, let's face it, we're a pretty cheap date. It would be Panera or something, Olive Garden or something like that. And then we would go to the movies, and then we usually go to Barnes and Noble afterwards, and we get a chai and we go through some books, and it's just a great time. We haven't done that in forever, and we miss it. But the reality is we've got to be careful. We have people that are at high risk. Okay. And I don't want to hurt anybody. So we've got to let them know that the problem is not permanent. We've got to let them know that this is a moment in time. And yes, it's been an extended period of time, but it's not forever. Okay. Now, this one, I don't think they make it personal. That's the 3rd P. The virus is not about a personal thing. It's about being pervasive and about being permanent. Now, so what can you do? I've actually got a list right here. I've written it down. So the first thing I want you to do is get them to stop looking at their life with a microscope, and I want them to start looking with a telescope. See, when I'm looking with a microscope, it's all about me. It's about everything that's happening to me, and I'm the victim, and I've got no choices, and blah, 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 blah. But what I want to do is stop getting it so that we're so focused here, and I want you to open it up. Because I guarantee you, as you open up, 2 things are going to happen. Number 1, you're going to realize that there are people out there that are dealing with a lot more than you are right now. There are people out of work. There are people struggling to pay rent. There are people that don't know where their next meal is coming from. Regardless of what you believe of this pandemic, those are the byproducts. So the fact that you have a job, the fact that you have work and that you've got someplace to go and that you're busy, those are blessings. See, so the first thing I want you to do is realize that you've got it better than you think you do, that there's always somebody that has it worse. So I want you to replace frustration with gratitude. Does that make sense? I want you to say replace frustration with gratitude. I want you to stop and look how far we've come. You know, we focus on right now, right here, but man, we started this crap in March. Look at how far we've come. Look at the lessons we've learned. Look at the connections we've made. Look at the differences that we've been able to adapt to. That is something to be proud of. That's something to step back and say, holy crap, that's amazing. The next thing is you got to recognize your circle of control. I can't control the pandemic. I can't control the White House. I can't control all that stuff. All I can control is me, right? My intentions, my mindset, my actions, all of that. That's all I can control. I get to decide what I look like here. Instead of me looking at it like people are making me wear a mask and I got to do this and I got to do that, I just want to keep people safe. And if I can do that little bit to keep people safe, look, think of it back in World War II, right? Where people were giving away aluminum and all these drives and stuff they were having to support their troops. Well, instead of it being the army right now, it's our healthcare workers. We've got to support them with our actions. And I went over again. So make sure you say hi here. Make sure you say hi because somebody's getting a free year of Pocket Business Genius, which is amazing. The next thing we got to do is limit input. Look, there's a lot of negativity going on out there, and let's face it, the news, if it bleeds, it leads. You got to limit your exposure to that. You got to fill yourself with better stuff, okay? You got to fill yourself with better content. So do something to feed yourself in the morning. And then the last thing I want to talk about is it's important when we're going through these feelings to be able to talk to someone, but make sure it's the right someone. If you go to somebody and they feel the same way you do, all you're going to do, it might feel good to have a bitch session for a little bit, but then you're going to end up with a situation where it's just confirming. I don't want you to confirm what you're feeling. I want you to find someone that can coach you. I want someone that can coach your team. That's you. That's you. Get them to see the bigger picture. Get them to realize that there are people out there that aren't working. Get them to realize how blessed they are, right? That's going to be the big thing. We're going to be dealing with this. As these numbers climb, if you want to keep your business safe, in my opinion, you need to ramp up what you're doing from a safety perspective for your team. Please be aware of this. Understand the feelings that are going to come with these actions, and then be there to listen, help, and just care about your team and your customers. It's going to make all the difference in the world. So listen, I'm going to ask you to do two things. One, please share this video. Second thing I'm going to ask you to do, look, if you love these just one things, we have a monthly webinar series called the Pocket Business Genius. It's second Wednesday of every month, 12 noon Eastern. You get the live webinar where you can interact with me on the webinar. There's also a library of recordings. Anybody that's in there that's done it, hopefully you can say something about the webinars, whether you find they're relevant and everything like that. We work really hard to make sure that we're giving you information that is not only relevant, but not thought of. Not thought of. Like one of the things that our next webinar is actually about the 7 responsibilities of a successful shop owner, because nobody talks about what do you do when you're the owner? What do you do when you're working on the business, not in it? Because let's face it, we're a lot more comfortable in it. And here's the cool thing. Brenda, if you could put a link in there, please, I really appreciate it. Good morning, Nick. This is really a fantastic opportunity. It's only $29 a month, and get in before the end of the year because it's going up. Okay, 29 is just too cheap, honest, and we need to. I actually think we're not getting people to join because it's so damn cheap. So Please get in. You're going to love it. If you're one of our clients, you already get it, so don't worry about it. But I'm telling you, you're going to love this. All right. Thank you. This virus stuff, you can deal with it. Don't put your head in the sand. You're not going to like what happens. Deal with this. Let's rock and roll. And let's have a great week, guys and gals. Okay. So I want to say thank you. God bless. Stay safe and go make some money. Take care, all. Bye bye.